Hey, how's it going? So I'm sure that many of you guys have seen the Joker deleted scene, but I figured let's do another video essay. Deleted scenes in general. Deleted scenes are a very interesting topic, to say the least. Some of them really do not work out, and then there are those some that just add a little bit of extra flavor to movies. It's not very common that you find a deleted scene that you begin to question why it was cut. And then there are some that I would say I absolutely love. Now, with the character of the Joker being overdone in movies and media, the deleted scene could feel really unnecessary. But ultimately, is it as unnecessary as we think it is? Ultimately, I think that the deleted scene was actually pretty well done. In a weird way, it feels a lot like a short film, which is not a bad thing. This could be a 5-minute short film. They released it like it was a 5-minute short film. It feels like something that was created on the side as a separate project. And at the same time, I think the movie could work with or without the scene, as I'll explain. The cinematography is absolutely beautiful, as was the rest of the Batman. Deep shadows, dark lighting, and lots of contrast in the colors. When those colors of Joker's hair pops out, it really pops from the rest of the environment. And with the lenses that they use for the cinematography in the scene and in the rest of the Batman, it has a sense of being claustrophobic, especially in the scene where they're in this isolated room where they're just talking, Batman and the Joker. They shoot all this establishing a pre-existing history between this Batman and this Joker. Sure, this Joker isn't really set up to be the Joker yet in this point of the story, but at least Batman has encountered him already, and he seemed to have done something to get him locked up in Arkham Asylum. The way the scene plays out, where it's very reminiscent to a lot of detective films or Seven or Silence of the Lambs, where it's a detective going in to question somebody to get their perspective or to get answers regarding a matter. They play off this idea of more of the detective aspect of Batman going to the Joker to get his perspective on the killer, being the Riddler. There are subtle details of Joker sprinkled throughout this setting, which you would probably never pick up on if you aren't familiar with the character. Even though this scene can be seen as disturbing in moments, there are also parts that are a little bit funny in a weird, twisted sort of way. Barry Keoghan does a really good job at displaying this very unsettling version of the Joker. Very twisted, very disturbed. And from what I understand with what Matt Reeves said about it, he apparently has a disease where his smile is permanently stuck in a particular way. And it's gotten him in a lot of bad situations. He views this as a bad joke on him and his life. So now he wants to play a cruel joke on the world. But you could also argue there was way more done than just that. From the looks of his body, he had to have fallen into a chemical bath. The way his skin looks, very messed up. The missing pieces of hair, the messed up fingernails that he may still or may not be biting. This is a Joker that has had multiple things happen to him. Maybe the idea is the smile, but the acid bath would be the perfect idea for this version of the Joker. Just imagine a more realistic version where the acid bath does not make you smooth like Jared Leto. This messed this man up, and he is horrifically scarred because of it. This idea was done in Gotham before, but the Joker didn't quite look right. He looked more like a doll than the Joker. This is still Joker-esque, but just very grotesque looking. And the fact that we haven't seen all of it is what's fascinating to me personally. There's still more to see of this Joker, because if we all look at the scene, the Joker is blurred out throughout the entire scene. You get more pieces of him as the scene goes through, but you never get a full look at what he looks like in general. It leaves your mind to make up or to piece together how he actually looks, which plays on the idea of disturbing you down more than it should. but it does. This is also a big element of just body horror. Body horror that really gets under your skin. There are only few movies that have done this, such as The Fly and other movies, but this really did disturb me a little bit because it was unexpected and it was something I'm not used to with the character. And if we have to look at him like that for an entire movie, that's disturbing. All in all, this is a very stellar scene. Very good dynamics between Batman and the Joker. But the reason why this scene was deleted, I don't think it was because of the amazing acting, because every performance in the Batman was stellar. I don't think it was because of the way the scene looked or felt. It went with the rest of the tone of the movie, and actually would have fit perfectly in the runtime. I know exactly why they removed the scene, and I can completely understand why. It would have ruined the character of the Riddler, because the big surprise at the end was the fact that he was influenced by Batman. He viewed Batman as his idol. He idolized him. He wanted to kind of instill fear, and he was inspired to do all these horrific acts due to Batman and taking the idea of I'm vengeance and running with it. You put this scene in there and it ruins a big element to that, as the Joker does point out that the Batman and him have lots of similarities and the fact that he may be a fan of his. This would have ruined that reveal and ruined that interrogation scene because it would have felt repetitive. So no, I don't think the scene would have worked within the movie, but I do appreciate them still releasing it because it gave us a very interesting look at where Barry Keoghan's Joker would look like and feel like, and gives us more ideas of what the character would be like in the future. The Joker is overdone. Even though I will admit I am intrigued to see what they do with this character, and the idea is that Matt Reeves said he doesn't want to do the Joker immediately, and they're probably gonna wait till a final film to build up the character over time. I will admit, the Joker is a very, very overdone character. We've had multiple interpretations, some really, really good, and others not so good. But all in all, if I had to make an argument for that case, we always get different interpretations of comic books all the time. So really, it's to be expected. And plus the Joker is a big moneymaker, so that's also a big reason as to why this character is used as much as he is. For better or for worse, the scene was released, and ultimately it did give us a very unique look at what this character was like and a certain take on a certain character that's very iconic in comic book history. And ultimately, I will say this will go down in history as being one of the best deleted scenes that we've ever seen. That's very high praise, but I will say the reason why I say that is because it was unique. You could actually still see it working in a way, and it did give us more of what we were kind of ragging on. This will go down as one of the best deleted scenes that we've ever seen. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But ultimately, I believe that's the case because it actually won me over on something that I wasn't a big fan of in the movie, and that's the Joker. I remember seeing that scene where he talks to the Riddler and not liking what I was seeing. This changed my mind on it, and I'm actually interested to see what they do. Hopefully not immediately, but in the future. This is the best deleted scene ever.